Thanks for checking out today's video. On my right here, I have a what's considered a new body style Silverado. This went on from like 99 to 2007 Classic with a few minor changes. Like in 2003, they updated the front end, like different headlights, hood, fenders, taillights, like minor changes, but essentially it's the same truck. And they also went from drive-by-cable to drive-by-wire throttle body. A few minor changes in the interior, but essentially, like I said, same truck. This is considered the new body style. This went on from like 07 to 2014 with a few minor changes as well. And I'm pretty much going to talk about why I would rather own this body style than this body style. First of all, let me talk about, I am a mechanic. I recondition used cars on a daily basis. That's what I do for a living. And I see a lot more issues with this body style than I ever did with this body style. I'm going to kind of go down a list of things that I run into with these. So it's quite a long list. It's pretty common to see the sway bar end links go bad. Okay, it's a lot more common to see oil pan gasket leaks. It's more common to see the oil sending units go bad on these. Not to mention these engines came with a DOD AFM style engine that, you know, kind of cuts down the 4 cylinders to save fuel. It's called DOD or displacement on demand, or there's also AFM, active fuel management, and those have different style lifters than this older generation. And this style engine, they chew up lifters and camshafts like no other. These will have the same set of lifters go for 250,000 miles. These can have a set of lifters fail less than 100,000 miles. And they like to eat up cam bearings. Okay, there's that, right? And let's see, what else is there? As far as interior, door handles like to go bad. They break all the time. The dashboards crack. Back to the engine. The motor mounts go bad on these. Never had issues with motor mounts on these older style trucks. I mean, it does happen, right? It does happen, but it's so much more rare to see a bad motor mount on this than this. On these, the motor mounts go bad all the time. Okay, let's see. Window switches go bad all the time on these. Not really an issue on this older body style, but on these, window switches will go bad all the time, especially in the back. These will quit working on you for no reason. Let's see. 6L80 has a ton of issues. I think they have more issues in the older 4060. Though the 4060 gets a bad rap for like performance, and when people beat and just dog on the 4060, their weaknesses tend to show up, that they cannot stand up to the abuse. But as far as longevity, just on a day-to-day basis, on a daily driving truck, I think 406s might actually last longer than a 6L80. That's just me. Let me know in the comments what your opinion is on that. Let's see, why would I rather have this? So this body style is a 2000, right? This has a drive-by-cable throttle body. This is drive-by-wire. Basically, the throttle body is electronically controlled. So there's all kinds of reasons why I just don't like that. You have issues with throttle bodies all the time, and the pedal and different things can throw it into limp mode. Different check engine, or different codes, different things, issues that can pop up. They will just not allow you to even freaking drive the truck. And if it does, it'll be like 15, 20 miles an hour. Whereas this drive by cable, yeah, you might have an issue, but you can still get home in it. You still have full manual control of the throttle, which could be good and bad in some cases, I guess. But I like to have instant full control of my throttle versus the electronic delay of the foot pedal. I've never liked it, honestly. And if you're into aftermarket, you know, souping up your engines and, you know, getting some power out of it, I've always loved working on the drive-by-cable engines instead of the wire. There's more aftermarket throttle bodies available. It's easier to run aftermarket intake manifolds, easier to tune. There's just a lot of reasons why I prefer the drive-by-cable throttle bodies. A lot of people will actually have a newer generation truck. This is considered a Gen 4 engine in the new body style, and they will try to convert to the old Gen 3 system to run a drive-by-cable. You know, they change computers, harnesses. They could do what they got to do to be able to run in a old generation drive-by-cable throttle body, because there's a lot of benefits, like I said. Let's see what else. A lot of people kind of got excited about the new engines in these new body styles, the new body style, I should say. But in reality, It's just GM like recycled a bunch of parts from old Chevys. And what I mean by that is, yeah, they're both 5.3 liters, right? I believe this 5.3 is rated like 285 horsepower. This one might be like 325, maybe. But the only reason for the extra output is they started using the LS6 cast cylinder heads that were first introduced in 2001. I believe the 2001 Corvette Z06, I believe, was the first year Z06. Head casting number 243, which later also they started doing 799. They started using those factory Z06 cast on these trucks, but it does not have the sodium filled valves, but it does use the same cylinder head design. So that's an increase in power right there, using a cylinder head that was first designed back in 2001 from the Corvette. They just started throwing them on the trucks from the factory starting 2007 and up. Another part they recycled is the intake manifolds. All right, 2007 and up used a different intake manifold, which first came out, I believe, 2004 or 5. Trailblazer Super Sport was the first GM truck to get that new design intake manifold. So they took that intake manifold that originally came off the Trailblazer Super Sport, and then they adapted it. They basically started throwing them on the Silverados and Sierras from the factory. Now, also, SUVs, Yukons, Tahoe, Suburbans, things like that. So basically, now we've got they're reusing cylinder heads, reusing intake manifolds from older generation GMs, putting them on a new generation GM and calling it like a new design, which really they're just recycling a bunch of old GM parts. What else? Oh, so the old generation 5.3 had dished pistons, but the 4.8, same bore piston was flat top. But in the new generation Chevy, they decided to use the 4.8 flat tops and the 5.3s as well, which bumped the compression. Partly because the Z06 style cylinder head had a larger combustion chamber, so really that hurt compression. So going to the flat top 4.8 piston and the 5.3 help compensate for that. It got the compression back up where it needs to be. Basically, this was a really good design engine from GM back in the day, back in 1999. It was great. And for the new generation 07 to 14, they basically got the best combinations of parts in that older early 2000 generation GM V8s. They just got a bunch of parts from like the Corvette, the Trailblazer SS, the flat top pistons from the 4.8 Silverados. They just combined it all to make just the ultimate version of itself, basically. But they screwed up with that DOD, trying to keep up with fuel economy and things like that. They had a really poor design on that DOD system. Because like I said, lifters, you see that issue on these trucks all the freaking time, lifter failure. That's one of the biggest issues with these trucks. If they wouldn't have done that, then this would have been like a superior engine all the way around. That's really the only drawback as far as the engine is concerned. And it seems like in that era, I think GM went bankrupt around 2008. 2007, 2008, and I don't know if that's a part of the reason why a lot of the material used in this... I'm sorry about my nails. I have a daughter. She painted my nails. I know somebody's going to comment about that in the comments, but I have a 3-year-old daughter. That's the reason for that. Anyways, so GM went bankrupt around 2007, 2008, right? And that might be a reason why they just use such inferior materials in these trucks versus the older body style. Because like I said, the things that fall apart, it's purely from poor quality material, like the motor mounts going bad. There was no reason to change the motor mount design from this truck to this truck, but they change it, and whatever they change the material to, they just fall apart. Motor mounts will go bad all the time. Same thing with the interior. They changed the plastic quality from this dashboard and this body style to the dashboard and that body style. The quality of the plastic is a lot worse, and they crumble. They turn into crackers. The dashboards fall apart in this body style all the time. They will just crack up and fall apart. Sway bar end links. The bushings used in the suspension aren't as good quality. Oh, another thing, you see ball joints go out more on these trucks than these trucks. It's just the quality of the material they use in this body style was not as good as the older generation. Yeah, anyways, it's obvious I'm kind of biased. I've owned more of this body style than this body style, but I've worked on both. Trust me, I've worked on a ton of this body style, and those are a couple reasons why I would rather own an older Silverado than the newer Silverado. Don't get me wrong, it's still a nice truck. You just got to know what you're getting into, know what to expect, maintain them. Probably do a DOD delete. I would definitely recommend that. Just expect, you know, like I said, the things I listed, expect them to go wrong. Nothing crazy, right? I mean, it's all fixable. It's all repairable. I still rather have one of these than a Ford, but that's just me. All right, thanks for watching my video. Hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Later.